Let's have a look at the SketchUp export feature in the 3D Tiny House Designer. To get started, you will head to the Export tab up here, and you will click on SketchUp Export. To confirm the export, you just have to click on this button right here, which will now start the export. In a couple of seconds, it converts the 3D model of the 3D Tiny House Designer into a SketchUp file that you can easily import into SketchUp and then edit on from. So, for example, the SketchUp export is quite helpful if you want to add specific custom model things that you don't know how to do in the 3D Tiny House Designer, or something of it is not in the 3D Tiny House Designer yet. So just to quickly show you how that looks like in SketchUp, I will switch over to SketchUp and show you in there. There we go. Now we're in SketchUp 2023 and we can have a look at the model that the software has exported. So it has converted all of the meshes from the 3D model into a SketchUp model, which is almost, I'd say, 99.5% accurate to what you have just built in the 3D Tiny House Designer. The way that we have designed the SketchUp export is that the workflow is quite helpful in the SketchUp setup. So for example, all of the walls and windows are grouped separately, so you don't have a bunch of meshes sticking together, which you would probably know if you haven't properly grouped objects together in SketchUp before. So what you will see here, the roof here, for example, is its own mesh. The walls are their own mesh. Each window has its own group like that, meaning that you are now able to start modeling in SketchUp quite quickly. One thing to think about: when you first import the model, you end up with a gray beige-ish model. What you can do, you can go into materials in SketchUp and add a quick new white material, which I will pick on here. There we go. Where's the white? There we go. It's white here somewhere. Perfect. And then we'll select everything and give it a white color. There we go. So now the model looks already a little bit cleaner. So one thing that you might see when you're exporting a 3D SketchUp model from the 3D Tiny House Designer is that the skylights can be inverted. So all you would have to do is you would have to rotate them. To do that, I will just quickly grab the skylight and rotate it the other way, like that. And then I will grab one of the bottom corners here and push it up all the way to the top again. So now the model is already fixed. And what you will also see, because all of the meshes in the 3D Tiny House Designer are procedurally generated, some of the lines, there might be some lines or artifacts that pop up in SketchUp. And that's just simply because it's in two different softwares and sometimes the meshes don't fully translate. What you can do to get rid of these lines, you can simply use the pen tool and draw over the line, and then it recognizes the mesh and you can delete it. So just in a couple of minutes, if you go through and delete each line this way, let me just quickly see, there we go. This way you will be able to have a very clean mesh that you would otherwise spend many hours modeling. There we go. And now we can go in and apply layers to the group. So for example, we could create a layer for the exterior shell or a layer for the bathroom objects or whatever your workflow is like. But what you'll see, all of the objects in the software have been fully exported and the cabinets have incredible detail, meaning you can now start or continue modeling in SketchUp to whichever way that you like. One other quick tip: when you are building a tiny house and you might not know the exact measurement and you want to find the exact measurement, you can actually open SketchUp for that as well and use the export to measure objects with the tape measure tool. So we can use the tape measure tool here to measure this mesh here, or go into the cabinets to understand exactly how thick the panels are. So all of that information has carried over, but it might be helpful if you want to measure specific things.